in the US?
Thankfully, last summer, after a prolonged legal battle with SEC that is finally nearing an end, a US judge ruled that XRP itself is not a security. This is a key win for Ripple as well as crypto. And this milestone was years in the making. But before that ruling, only a few companies were willing to take the stand with the XRP community against regulatory overreach in the US, and Uphold was front and center.
On stage today, we have Uphold's Chief Revenue and Marketing Officer, Nancy Beaton. She'll be talking to Ripple's Yana Novakova about Uphold's support of XRP and the crypto community as a whole. Over to you, Yana and Nancy.
Good morning, everyone. Wow. It might be a tough act to follow, Brad, David, and Frank.
Yes, definitely.
But we do have very important and exciting discussion for you. I'm Yana Novikova. I'm a Senior Director of Product for Ripple. And today we have a very special guest with us, Nancy Beaton, Chief Revenue Officer and President of Uphold US. Welcome, Nancy.
Thanks.
So as the world of digital assets continues to transform, Uphold has emerged as a key leader by making bold and thoughtful decisions, particularly during challenging times. Uphold's unwavering support for XRP digital asset, even during industry uncertainties, has been a beacon of resilience, innovation, and hope for the community. So today, we'll explore Uphold's decision, the key reasons behind Uphold's decision to support XRP. We'll also discuss Uphold's strategies of innovation, and we'll talk about their future for the vision of crypto and not only crypto regulations, but also crypto innovation. Nancy, welcome again. Welcome to Apex. So to begin, Uphold was the only exchange in the United States that did not delist XRP.
Exactly.
Woo! So I'm sure this decision has come with significant challenges and considerations. Could you share with us the reasons behind your decision, and how did this impact Uphold as a company?
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, I appreciate the applause that Uphold did not delist XRP. I would say in return, the community that we've been able to build with XRP, with the users, with the developers, has been really good. And I would say when the decision came out last summer that XRP was not a security, and everybody finally decided to join the party and list it, then I feel like, we weren't sure what was going to happen. We didn't know if all of our users would have all these choices, but really important for us was that in the time that we were able to build this relationship with the XRP community, we saw, less than 5% of our users try other exchanges. So everybody stayed with us. So while I appreciate the clapping, I would say at the heart of blockchain and crypto is community. And I felt like that in spades when, we stayed with XRP and then the XRP community stayed with us. So that was very, welcoming after all of the communication and commitment together. As for regulatory, we are highly compliant. We take it very seriously. And when the option came of what should we do with the token and XRP, we did consult with 3 law firms, get opinions, and with others that are in the space that had been around the regulatory body, the SEC, and that had, maybe worked there, consulted there before. And it was pretty unanimous. They came back to us with their opinion that the suit would not stand up, that XRP would win. So we took a calculated risk internally and agreed with that and said, we're going to stick with it. And, should something happen that legally we have to change, we would. But until that time, we believed in the community and we believed in the legal advice we were giving. So we stayed the course. And, at that point, it became a risk decision and we took the risk. And I think it paid off for everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. so Uphold, and definitely Uphold stands undoubtedly provided much needed support for the community, especially during this time. So are there any key lessons that Uphold learned during this kind of making this decision, and how has this decision shaped the rest of your strategy in crypto space and in digital asset space?
Yeah, so I think, we take very seriously at the beginning of the process who we list and who we partner with when it comes to tokens and cryptocurrency on our platform. We have a listing committee, and we approve only about 30% of all the tokens that come to us. And it's really important for us to make sure that there is a use case, that there's viability, that there's a market demand, that the whole project has done things the right way. So I do think that has evolved since the regulatory discussions and process. I think in addition to that, though, I think that it really has fostered the idea of communities on our platform. We've gotten more market-led. We talk to a lot of the communities a lot more. We talk to the XRP communities. What tokens do they like? What are they looking for? What are their products that they need next from us? What are the integrations that we need to do? I can tell you the two things that always come back from this community. We do that with a lot of the various blockchain communities, because I think as we want this to scale, it needs to be market-led. And just as David and Brad were saying, really Uphold is trying hard to strip the complexity out of Web3 so that we can make it easy for users. We're in this unique situation where we work with all the projects, all of the various layer 1s, layer 2s, tokens, but we have an entire retail offering. So we're in this situation where we need to bring things to market that retail offering wants. And, we need to do it within the confines of the regulation and with our project partners. So it's all sort of, I think, mixed together since we've been through this process.
Definitely. Shifting gears or kind of looking forward instead of looking the past, you mentioned stripping complexities from Web3. And I think one of the key challenges that still exists within digital asset space is getting retail adoption.
Yeah.
Looking into the world, crypto has been around for over 12 years, over 15 years now, but retail adoption has not been comparable to what it could have been for other technologies. So I know Uphold recently launched its self-assisted but self-custody wallet, assisted self-custody wallet called Vault. Vault already supports Bitcoin and XRP and will support other tokens in the future. So maybe can you elaborate on key features of the Vault wallet, and then kind of how it enables retail users or how it alleviates their concerns of losing their private key and kind of using digital assets safely but also securely?
Yeah, I think it goes back to being market-led, because when we talk to our users, they tell us a number of things. We survey them, we research with them, the current generation, the next generation. And so, for us, when it comes to something like Vault, our users were telling us that they were keeping lots of cryptocurrency on our platform because for the mass adoption, self-custodial wallets can be tricky, right? They can be complex. People have seed phrases, they've written them down on paper, or you have a ledger, it's at home, I'm in New York, I can't take advantage of the market. So we had a lot of feedback from our users that said, I'm just gonna leave everything with you, and because it's kind of complex over here. I think we all know that your digital assets need to be protected. They are best protected when they are in your full custody. So we knew that our users needed a solution in order to self-custody, have full ownership of their assets, but they really wanted to be right next to the trading platform and have the convenience of a centralized exchange. So now we have 3 options for custody. We have a centralized exchange on Uphold, we have a full self-custodial wallet in UpHodl, and then now we have Vault. So really, it gives you 3 advantages. One is that you have full control. If Uphold were ever to cease to exist or to be down, you have full control and can swipe your assets into any wallet. 2, it's right next to the trading platform. Again, you don't have to miss the market. You can just trade on the platform and then move your assets right back into the vault under your full control. And then 3, it has key replacement. So one of the big things that we learned from the market is that with self-custodial wallets, they hear all the stories of lost keys, lost assets, lost money. So what we do is the user has 2 keys. We have 1 only to sign transactions. And now if you lose one of your keys, you can ask us to replace it. We can sign that transaction and replace your key. So it greatly minimizes the potential loss of funds. And so again, going back to the mass market, first starting with our own community, we launched this with XRP first. We've had really great feedback on it. We're gonna add, we've added Bitcoin, but we're adding Corium and Solo to the support of the wallet coming up this summer, and then more chains after that, and more tokens from the XRPL ledger. So it's things like that where, you know, we're in a unique position to help deliver to the mass market and drive retail adoption.
Very interesting, very cool. What about other innovations? Are there other products similar to Vault that you are working on that you could talk to us about?
I think, you know, there's a couple. The first thing I would say is the number 1 piece of feedback that I get from the XRP community is how do I get return on my assets, right? How do I get passive return on all of these assets that I'm holding? Because it's a big holding community. So, you know, we are talking with the team about the AMM and, you know, integrating the native DEX in our self-custodial wallet. There's also the, you know, outside of that, stepping back, the larger market wants passive return. I think you see this everywhere, right? Not just in crypto, but I mean, everybody has a side hustle. You know, my son is 11, he has a YouTube channel. So,
I have one.
Yeah, so I feel like everybody's looking for passive income. When we survey the market, we see that 92% of Gen Z holds or wants to hold crypto. More of them hold crypto than stocks. More of them hold crypto than real estate. So they are really, you know, going to expect that we bring these types of access and opportunities to them. So one of the other things we're doing is we're really working on almost features that I would call a crypto neobank. You know, these guys are not sitting behind a desk waiting for a 401k to vest for 20 years. You know, they want access and they want to start investing and making money now, you know, and they want to do that in multiple ways. So you'll see us come out with ability to earn interest, the ability to use your crypto for payments, for direct deposit, for bill pay, all those types of things as well.
Very cool. So as you go into additional use cases, traditional financial use cases with crypto and digital assets, I do believe user education becomes very important. Are there educational initiative or resources that Uphold has been driving in kind of making sure that as users use AMM or start trying to kind of trade crypto, they understand all the complexities, but also they know how to navigate the space with different products that you have?
I completely agree. You know, when I was at XRP Las Vegas a month ago, you know, people came up and they said, hey, you know, I want to use limit orders. How do I do that?
Yeah.
You know, and you would think that a crypto savvy sort of audience would understand these things. But back to your point, it takes user education. And some of the things that we're doing for that, you know, even as David Schwartz was saying, we're relooking at our KYC process. How do we simplify it? We're looking at, you know, our products. How do we make them easier to use? We're looking at educating our users with a new academy so people can learn. They can learn and earn. They can, you know, learn about projects. They can learn about these products. And so it really is going to take stripping out some of the technical complexity for these users in order to drive that mass adoption.
Yeah, definitely. So shifting gears again a little bit, regulatory landscapes constantly evolving, constantly shifting. And you mentioned Uphold is very strong in compliance, very compliance-minded. So how do you balance out compliance, but also consistent innovation and releasing new innovative product like Vault or other ones that you talked about? And how do you balance those two?
Yeah, it's tricky because, as a global entity as well, compliance is not the same, right? I'm in the US. I can tell you compliance is very different there. UK is very different. The next MiCA rules that are coming out, starting even July 1st with stablecoins. There's so much evolving all the time. I think a lot of people want to say that, it immediately hinders innovation. Does it? Some, right? But I look across this room, I talked to a lot of people last night. I see a lot of innovation still happening in this space. So, I think people are going to push through. We have the grit, we have the, power to push through this and still innovate in this space. Does it mean that, we may have to wait on certain features? Yes. Does it mean that we have to roll something out in a region first and get adoption that way and then bring it across? Yes. So, we are doing it that way. We take it region by region when we think about what we can offer the users. What the users want is pretty similar across all the regions. When we survey our users or the general market, the ability to earn interest in general, right? Whether it's off your crypto or off of an account or something, top of the list, right? Again, passive income. So, but the way that we're able to do that is different in the UK than it is going to be in the US, and it's different in Europe. So we just have to almost have more innovation in order to create the solutions that fit the market and the environment.
As you mentioned, global presence, you are serving over 10 million customers in 140 different countries. And how do you then ensure that those international users have consistent and reliable experience across all these different markets, so that if I'm using Uphold in the US, my experience is very similar to if I were using it in UK or Australia or other markets that you serve?
Yeah, I would almost say that users don't necessarily want it to be that consistent. They only want consistency when you're doing something peer-to-peer, right? I don't want to mess with, how to find you, Yana, and sending you some crypto. But if you're in Brazil, you don't want the same experience. You need your local payment rails, right? Because getting a credit card to go through in Brazil, near impossible, right? So we actually just launched, we have a fiat to crypto on-ramp topper. We just launched Pix. So now we use local payment rails. People can buy crypto like this using their local transaction process instead of, maybe what I would force down from the US is a credit card. So I think in some regions, they almost absolutely need it customized by language, by payment processing, by payment methods, some, with off-ramp, some want to off-ramp to a bank, some want to off-ramp to, a stable coin. So it almost goes back again, I would say, to what the user wants and how they need it in that market. It does matter consistency when you start to talk about peer-to-peer, and so we're really going to elevate the ability for borderless peer-to-peer transactions. That, I think, will need the consistency you're talking about.
That's very interesting. So then looking ahead, which role do you think the self-custody solutions like the Vault or other innovations that you're working on, what role do you think they'll play for unbanked and underbanked populations around the world? Do you think those innovations and products and solutions could bring those populations into the financial system so that they can be part of the kind of global
100%.
markets?
I'm a huge believer in financial freedom and the financial freedom that blockchain and cryptocurrency will bring. I can tell you, we have both a centralized exchange, Uphold, and we have the fiat to crypto on-ramp topper that is in Changely, that's in Zum Wallet, that's in all these self-custodial wallets. Less than 2% overlap in user base. So what that tells me is that people want to interact and get involved in their way. So some don't want to come through the full KYC process, the opening an account, the full Uphold experience. Some do. Some really just have their way of doing it, right? They have their own self-custodial wallet. They have their own way to transact. And by doing that and really offering up products for these people, I think you can allow everybody to get the access how they want it. And I do think it will allow more mass adoption for the unbanked and for people that want to participate. But, again, have to make it easy for them to do so.
Definitely. Speaking of the future next wave of innovation, what do you think will be the key use cases or the key technologies that will emerge in crypto and digital asset space in the near term, in the future?
I definitely think this sort of crypto neobank or financial transactions for this next generation is going to be one of the biggest things that comes aboard. The ability to earn off your crypto, the ability to pay, deposit, all those things they're going to want. And, they're not going to traditional banks. They're not walking down to their local bank. They're going to places, at least in the US, like Ally and Chime. These places are not even banks. They're technology companies that have licensed bank functionality. And so I think they're going to be looking for something different. And I think that crypto can play a big part in that.
Very cool. Thank you, Nancy. It's a very exciting future. And thank you for sharing these insights with us.